Can you hear a child crying? Oh my god. Oh my god, do I really have to do this? The disadvantage of filming at 8 a.m. Hi everyone, this is Fazana from Fazana's Law, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you all 5 things that law students or any kind of university students don't do in the exams that does not give them that 75 or 80% or first class in general. So if you want to find out what are those 5 things that all students miss out, then please stay tuned till the end of this video. So before we start, I would just like to say to subscribe to this channel if you're interested in any kind of law school, productivity, self-growth videos or any kind of videos like this, because I post these kind of videos on a weekly basis every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the UK time. And so if you're interested in this kind of content, then please do subscribe. I'm trying to give all my tips as much as possible so that you can get that stress-free law school life that everyone wants without hardship and pain. So please do subscribe. So this video or today's video really hits me hard because as someone who has always got 2 2s and 2 1s in the first and second year of law school, and because I didn't know really the techniques on how it really gets the first class and stuff in exams, I struggled a lot, and I only managed to learn these 5 things when I was in my 3rd year, and I learned the hard way through consultation with teachers, through my help with my classmates and stuff like that, but also in my personal experience by trying out different things that possibly failed and sometimes it succeeded. So I'm going to be sharing these things that I have done that succeeded for me to get the 75 or 80% of first class in general in my law exams. So let's get started with the first one. So number 1 is to research and add commentary or academic commentary into your exam answers. I know this procedure is quite long and it's something that not everybody likes to do. Like, you don't want to be really sitting down in the library and researching Westlaw, all the kinds of academic commentary or all those kind of journal articles where, the academics are talking about a certain topic and you have to add those into your answers only if they're relevant. Nobody want to do this. That's why 98% of the students don't really get a first anyway, because this step is so important, because I feel like it will just make your answer look stand out and unique out of all the other 200 students that the teacher has already read and is bored at. So if you add something which is very different and something that makes you stand out from the crowd, obviously that's going to catch the examiner's eye and they're going to be thinking, you know what, this student has put so much hard work into this, so they definitely deserve some kind of a mark. Even if it's 1 extra mark, that 1 extra mark can really go from 69% to 70% easily, and you wouldn't even know, and you will be so grateful to find out when you see that all those not past papers but journal articles that you have researched and they relate to the topic that you're talking about. If it's, for example, certain tests maybe in the law where the judges have used, and how do they come up with that kind of a test, what were the arguments for and against, and whatever it is, whatever you can find based on that topic, like a journal article or any kind of commentary or whatever, please do add into the answer only if it's relevant. Of course, do not just add it for the sake of it, but I feel like that makes your answer look so much more neater, more structured, more professional and well researched at the same time. So definitely go ahead and research your own stuff. So the next one that I want to talk about is number 2, is to do not waste your time on the introduction. Now, I know that sounds very counterproductive, but if you're doing a problem question in a law exam, you don't really need to add an introduction. You can just go straight to the point and advise the person that you're told to advise. But obviously, if your teacher tells you that you have to add an introduction, you have to set the scene, you have to say, you have to define certain terms, whatever it is, or you have to set the scene as I mentioned before, then please go ahead and do that. But if your teacher has clearly stated that you do not have to add an introduction, do not waste your time really writing something which is not going to give you marks, but it's only going to cost you your time, because your time is so limited during an exam time and you want to use every millisecond as wisely as possible. So you don't really want to waste your time on introduction. But of course, if, as I said before, if the teacher has told you to write write it, then please go ahead and do it. But for example, for my family law exam, I really did not write any introduction, and the teacher was okay with it, and the teacher was said, you know what guys, this is a problem question, so I don't really expect you to write like an essay and write an introduction. But this was actually different for commercial law exam that I did last year, and the teacher was very keen on us to really write an introduction because it really sets the scene, it gives a context in a way. So it was very important for them to really write down for me, or make them write it for me, whatever. Anyway, you know what I mean. And yeah, so I had to write it, and that gave me the marks. So please do discuss it with your teacher or tutors out there if they really want you to write an introduction or not, because not every teacher cares, and not every exam is going to require you to do that, especially if it's a problem question. So definitely go ahead and speak to your teacher. So this comes number 3, and number 3 is that you have to, I feel like if there's only one advice that you can take away from this video, but I haven't even finished, but anyway, that you should take away from this video is definitely please do plan your answer for 2 to 3 minutes before the exam starts. Before you even start writing, you have to plan your answer. This strategy has been life-changing for me, especially as someone who has never used to plan their answers in high school, college, or sixth form, whatever it is, and even in the first and second year for my exams in law school, I did not do this. But when I started doing this in my third year, it has been completely life-changing. And planning, you might think that it's gonna waste your 2-3 minutes, but honestly, you're gonna be waffling a lot if you don't plan your answer beforehand, and that's gonna really be counterproductive to you, because you're gonna be thinking in the 30th minute in your exam, you're gonna be thinking, oh my god, what was I supposed to write again? I don't remember. Did I already write this, or am I supposed to write this now or later? Should I add this or not add this, or whatever it is? You already know what you're gonna be writing when you plan, so all you have to do is just look at the plan and just write down the stuff. You don't have to overthink yourself what you're going to be writing. So this step, that's why it's so important, because it just sets out the whole scene for you, and you don't have to really think about it at all, or whatever you want to write, because you already know which law you're going to be speaking, which person you're going to be advising, and what kind of rules you're going to be talking about, whatever it is. It's all done and dusted for you in those 2-3 minutes. So I think that it is better for you to waste your 2-3 minutes at the beginning planning, rather than waffling around and making the examiner confused as to what you're actually writing. Because I've seen a big difference when you plan. The whole thing just changes completely. Your answer becomes 10 times better than it actually is when you don't plan. So I would highly recommend everyone to plan your answer 2 to 3 minutes, just 2-3 minutes. Don't go above it, and just plan it, and you will see a miracle. So after number 3 comes number 4, and my number 4 advice, or thing that law students don't do enough, I feel like, is practicing. And practice makes perfect. This is a no-brainer statement that everyone tells you, and I've heard this since high school, and I still think that this is so true. And I'm going to be doing now postgraduate, so I know how this statement is so important for me to really understand, because I think that if you don't practice, you know what, you're going to be struggling in the exam. No brainer. And if you have never done a past paper before in your whole life, and you're going to be taking an exam on it on the day, that's going to be so challenging for you, and it's going to be so hard for you, because you don't know how the past paper looks like, what kind of questions you get asked, what are some of the topics that are most likely to come up. Because the more you practice, I feel like the more you also get an idea, like, you know, this topic might come in the exam because it hasn't come from the past 3 years or something, and you start making those predictions, and then when your predictions get correct, then you get very gassed. And I love being gassed, so I love doing that. So I feel like past papers are so underrated, and these are something that everyone talks about. Oh yeah, I want to do past papers and stuff, but not everyone does it, and that's the problem. That's why you don't get that 75 or 80%. And I feel like if every single law student out there started doing past papers 1 month prior to the actual exam, I feel like most of them would get a first, because some people like doing it 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before. Some people like starting doing it 3 days before the exam, but I feel like the earlier you start, the better, because then you get a sense of the structure, you familiarize yourself with the questions, you familiarize with the timing. And time management is such a big issue in law school, I feel like, because when I used to do exams, I used to be so pressured to look at the clock and write down, look at the clock and write, because that can be so pressurizing, especially if you haven't done the past papers beforehand. But if you have done them, then it becomes easier, because then you know exactly, okay, I'm going to spend 20 minutes on this part of the question, 20 minutes on this part, and the other 20 minutes on this part. So you get an idea, you have already set your mind how you're going to be answering those questions. But obviously if you don't do the bloody past papers, then obviously it becomes very difficult for you to do that, and you cannot really plan. So I would highly recommend for you to start doing past papers 1 month at least prior to the actual exam, and that's going to be life-changing for you, I promise. And here comes number 5, and number 5 is the last tip that I'm going to be sharing with you all in this video, and that is, please do not write full answers when you're practicing for your exams and stuff. I feel like one thing that students really do wrong is writing the full answer, and for every time they're doing a past paper, and they think that they have to do it because they want to get the best grades as possible, and that's the best way to really revise. I agree, sometimes you do have to write a full answer to your exam, past paper, whatever you might be doing for revision and stuff, but I feel like that process can be so time consuming, especially if you're someone who has a bad handwriting like me and does not really like going back and reading what I have written with my very, very bad handwriting. If you don't like doing that, if you're somebody who gets pretty bored very easily whilst writing and they get concerned more about the handwriting than the actual content, then please do not write down the full answer. Instead, for just general brain dump of the answer of the question, then please do a brain dump in a piece of paper and just write down bullet points rather than writing the full answer. Or if you really want to write a long answer, then please do type it, because in that way you know exactly, you can edit your stuff, whatever you have written, you can see whatever you're doing, you can see where you're being wrong and stuff. And when you write a full answer whilst typing, that can be so helpful for you, because then you can show it to your teacher possibly as well, if they agree to, see it and grade it, mark it, whatever. So please do definitely, if you're going to be practicing with past papers, and please do not write full answers all the time, because that procedure is so long, so tiring and time consuming, and that might demotivate you to actually revise. So for my solution will be to definitely just write down some bullet points in a piece of paper, and that's it, for daily basis, for daily revision wise. But if you want to write a long answer, then please go ahead and type it out and even show it to a teacher possibly as well. And this brings me to the end of this video. I hope you really enjoyed watching this video, and I'm curious to know which out of these 5 things that I mentioned you're going to be doing in your exam, or you're probably already doing, and if you are, then you should be really proud of yourself and tell us which one you have been doing, maybe from the past few weeks, months or years. And please do comment down below. I would love to see your comments and reply to them. I really enjoy replying to comments, because you guys are so kind and so generous, and I feel so grateful. And this really pushes me hard and gives me the confidence to really drive myself and upload more videos like this. So please do comment down below which are these 5 things that you might be doing next in your law exam, or you're already doing. So comment down below. So as I mentioned also before I started this video, I also would like to say that I have something very special for all of you to really download, and something that you can keep to yourself all the time to get that first class as quickly as possible, and whilst not being stressed about it, or keeping your mind, health, body and your soul, everything in check and stress free. And if you want to do that, and if you want to have that kind of a life that I had in my 3rd year especially, then please do click the link in the description box below, where I have this free PDF checklist that it would make sure you get that first class in a most stress-free way as possible, while still managing to stay fit, eating healthy, and doing all those things that I have done in the 3rd year that have really got me that first. And I feel like if these things that I did not do, if I did not do these things in this PDF that I mentioned, then I would probably not got a first. I'm not gonna lie to you. So please do go ahead and click this free PDF link, and it's really good, I promise you, and it's going to be pretty life-changing. Also, if you're interested about me and about my personal life and what I like to do in my free time and stuff like that, then please go ahead and follow me on my Instagram at Fazana Salo, where I post mostly, food, travel, I think fitness sometimes kind of things, and of course I post about law, productivity and self-growth. And I also post weekly IGTV 5-minute series where I answer maybe some of your questions or some of the most common questions that I get from people that watch my videos or people who follow me there. So please do go ahead and follow me. And if you're still watching me till the end of this video, then well done and congratulations to you. It means that you're really serious about getting that first class, and I cannot wait to see you actually being so happy on your results day and really being proud of yourself and patting yourself in your back and telling yourself you did it and being really proud of yourself. So please do consider subscribing to this channel if you're interested in kind of, as I said, law school productivity and self-growth videos, because I post every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. UK time, and I cannot wait to see you in the comment section. Stay tuned, or bye.